Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I have an amazing video for you guys today. Check this out. I found an article that you're gonna absolutely love. It comes from the Epoch Times and I'm gonna have a link to this article down in the description below. Now if you're looking to buy a house, or if you're looking to sell a house, or if you're in the rental market, you're gonna wanna pay attention to this. This is gonna be great news for anybody in that market. Check this out. The article starts, Drastic drops unlikely for housing market, economists say. So this is obviously a article that is basically telling us that there's not going to be a big crash. So this is great for sellers, not so great for buyers. Let me read. As the U.S. real estate market slowly cools and sales volumes decrease significantly, whether housing prices will plummet has become a major concern for many. But one economist has predicted that there will not be an abrupt collapse as experienced after the previous U.S. housing bubble. Due to the Fed's interest rate hike and rising mortgage rates, people are less eager to purchase homes. Data indicates that the U.S. home sales fell to a two-year low in May, and this also applied to the popular California housing market. According to a report from California Association of Realtors, due to the decline in housing market, home sales in California fell 8.4% in June from May and 20% from June 2021. The statewide median home price June was $863,000, down 4% from May, but up 5% from June 2021. Shortage of supply. Although housing prices are on the downward trend, William Yu, an economist at UCLA's Anderson School of Management, noted that the housing price will not fall drastically because of the stark supply and demand imbalance that exists in the housing market. We probably won't see a crash like the ones we saw in 07, 08, and 2012. Back then there was an oversupply. This time there's a shortage of housing supply. And here, as we keep reading, Feds aim to cool the... I kind of don't agree with this though, because I've been reading that, housing is, building housing is becoming cheaper, and there's going to be a big, they're going to be unloading new houses into the market. And I do believe that if the economy takes a turn in somewhere else, part of the economy, when we start seeing layoffs, we are going to see a lot more houses hit the market. So this is kind of just looking at it right now. You see, I don't think the housing crash is going to be like 08, where it was the housing crash that brought everything down. What could happen in this economy is that something else in the economy is going to crash, bringing down the housing market. That's kind of how I see it. Remember, with record high inflation, and mortgage interest rates being really high, it's harder for companies to borrow. And when it's harder for people to make money, then it's when we start seeing layoffs. And when we start seeing layoffs, then people can't pay their mortgage, and then people foreclose on their house. And then we have a lot of, the inventory starts going up. So here, let me keep reading. Fed's aim also feigns to cool down housing market. Freddie Mac shows that the 30-year mortgage rate averaged 5.51% for the week ending in July 14th. This actually already went up, by the way. As the Federal Reserve continue to raise interest rates aggressively, housing markets are cooling rapidly in many cities across the United States. 6 California cities, including San Jose, Oakland, San Francisco, Sacramento, Stockton, and San Diego, are among the top 10 American cities with the fastest cooling markets. Remember, what happens in California eventually happens in the rest of the United States. You said that the interest rates increase will certainly have a serious impact on the home buyers who rely on loans. So housing market cooling down is normal and expected. In fact, this is also the main goal for the Federal Reserve, to raise interest rates, which is to cool down the housing market. According to you, the low interest rates of the past 2 years have caused an abundance of money, even to the point of flooding. Now the money is starting to tighten. So just to talk about this real quick, that when they say the low interest rates, it's not just low interest rates. We've had low interest rates in the past. Interest rates were practically like at zero coming out of the Feds. So when they were lending it to the banks, and the banks were lending it back to us like 2.5% or something like that. So it is not healthy for the Federal Reserve to be lending banks money at that, basically at 0%. That is bad news. So when these guys are saying low interest rates in the last 2 years, they're kind of minimizing how much damage they have made in the last 2 years by having the interest rates as low as they were. Listen, at the end of the day, the only reason they lowered it was because of the coronavirus, right? They had to make sure that there was low interest rates so people could stay afloat by giving them basically free money and stimulating the economy because everything was shut down. So it wasn't a normal situation. That's why we're in the problems that we're at today. So here, as I keep reading right here, let's finish out the article. He pointed out that after 2008, the U.S. housing market experienced a prolonged and severe depression, followed by a severe shortage of overall new home supply each year until the last 2 years, when home starts began to return to their historical average. Due to the long-term shortage of supply coupled with the population growth rate in the United States, people will notice that the overall housing supply and demand is still unbalanced. Many people may ask why housing prices are so high and rising so fast. One of the main reasons is chronic undersupply of housing. Well, it's chronic undersupply of housing plus, record low interest rates, right? Where it allows people to jump in, especially corporations, and makes everything more expensive for everybody. Let me continue reading. The last time there was an oversupply, when the housing bubble occurred, there was severe long-term digestion period. This time there is a shortage of housing supply, so even if the recession occurs, it affects only the housing market are likely to be less severe. So like I said, in previous videos, I do think that if we do have a housing crash, it's going to it's going to be over time, it's going to go down, It's not going to be like, oh wait, we're, 1 year, it dropped like a lot. It's going to be in the next 2, 3, 4 years, because to come out of what we just went through, it might take us 5 years, right? But we might start seeing a bottom, in my opinion, in the next 2 years. Now remember, I'm not a financial advisor, but I do make these videos for fun, and I try to stay educated in in the market and how it's moving. And I really love making these videos. If you guys like watching these videos, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button and go ahead and like and leave a comment. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this video. Please, if you're looking to buy a house, remember, save your money, have a W-2 job, work for at least 2 years, and you'll be able to get the best interest rate available. Well, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video.